This woman says banning adult content will take away good jobs from women. Can't make this up.
This is dangerous for women. Now, bear with me because I know it sounds kind of counterintuitive. I think a lot of people believe that banning might actually be a good thing. It's doing a lot of detriment to young people and really warping their minds and their concepts of consent and normal, healthy sexuality. First of all, a lot of women are going to be out of work, and they are going to be the women who are some of the most vulnerable people in society. So we're not just talking about people who literally exchange sex acts for money, as you might be thinking. We're talking about strippers. We're talking about cam girls.
You've got to be kidding me. Like you have to be effing kidding me right now.
Like so many other things this administration has done and continues to do, this is ultimately going to be about controlling women, because watch how quickly, if this passes, they're going to start changing the definition of what porn is. First, it's going to be, graphic sexual images of sexual acts taking place. And then it's going to be women being topless on any social media. And then it's going to turn into shirts that are see-through that women are wearing. And then it's going to turn into skirts that are too short. And do you see where I'm going with this? They don't want us to be able to exercise any sort of freedom when it comes to what parts of our bodies we show and to whom. So right now, maybe it's like, okay, well, they're trying to ban this thing that could be really harming the children. But eventually, your backless dress that you posted a picture of yourself wearing on Instagram is going to get you arrested.
Modern feminist women are self-destructive. How many times, if you could have guessed who would fight against banning adult content, you would think the men who you probably assume that they watch it more than the women. Women still watch adult content, but men watch it more. You would think they would be in the forefront of making sure adult content is not banned, but no, it would be the feminist woman. They are literally self-destructive. How are you fighting against this? How are you fighting against this? I see over and over again that if you ask women to put together a society, and I'm talking about modern women today, because I don't believe women have always thought this way. Most of them have had the guidance of a man in their lives. And yes, I do mean guidance. Most modern women today would set up a society that would literally lead to the extinction of mankind. You have demonizing men for their masculinity, right? So here you have a group of men who you've made to feel worthless through propaganda. On top of that, you have body positivity, encouraging obesity, which is a health risk, right? You have single mother households, the perfect environment to raise up children that fail at proven rates, at alarming rates. You have adult content like OnlyFans. You have the current dating market, which is trash because, hey, let's have unrealistic high expectations for everyone else but us, which is one of the craziest things I thought about when, for example, if we look at the statue of the black chick in New York, who everybody was like, oh, this chick is overweight and she's average. And the black women who support that are like, oh, yeah, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? And part of me can't help but think that the same women who look around and call for mediocrity when it comes to all women of all races, whether you're white or black, they're like, we don't need to change. We don't have to do anything except this for who we are the same chicks who repeat over and over again about how high their standards are and how they should lift those standards even higher. And you're, without realizing it, saying that you need to raise your standards and other people need to improve themselves who they are for you while you still remain your average self. And then you have this, like we have a shortage of women who are deciding to embrace OnlyFans. But this makes sense. This somehow makes sense. I would even take it a step further and say that I believe men are more likely to look at something like adult content and say, despite how I feel about this, right? I don't feel proud of myself for going on that site. And it actually would be helpful to not have that because I know that that's best for me. I think it's more likely that you have men who would be kind of curious to know what that's like. Like, what's it like for me to have a world where I cannot access adult content? And I mean this from the perspective of they would want that because they know deep down inside that's probably better for them. Incredible. Let's read a few of these comments. This chick here says, oh no, promiscuous women may need to get a real job, one that doesn't objectify their bodies, one that doesn't put them in mental distress. Oh no, how awful. We're so done in America. How dare they attempt to ban corn? What a strange era we live in. Somebody else who says 100 women versus accountability. Here's another person who says, and the ones mad are the perverts. Here's somebody else who says, where do I sign this bill? I really do believe that more men will probably be more open to signing this bill than women. Somebody else who says, are you real? Here's another person who says, how are y'all not realizing that any form of censorship is bad? It won't stop at just corn. Somebody else who says, this admin pretending like they're not the biggest consumer. Again, based on this comment right here, I believe that men, even if they do consume corn once in a while, would probably be more likely to say, let's get rid of it. And it's not because they necessarily are hypocrites. That's not it. I think it comes down to how self-aware are you about how detrimental something is. Somebody else who says, more so the law actually allows them to redefine what is and isn't classified as obscene. Another person who says, plus any victims of essay that end up getting recorded will be at risk trying to seek justice and can end up in prison themselves. Okay, I'm glad somebody brought up the whole essay thing. Here's something I thought about recently. When I was listening to the whole Cassie and Diddy case, and I heard about how people were saying Diddy's a horrible person, and I'll be honest with you, I believe Diddy is a horrible person. Right? That's my opinion. But here's what I find interesting. They were like, oh, look, he got her hooked on different drugs and got her to do a bunch of sexual things. And after that, recorded her. And what I thought and what came to mind is like, oh, what it sounds like Diddy was doing to me is he was trying to recreate adult content in real life. That's not me trying to minimize what was being done from like the violence and all. What I really mean is if you go listen to any adult actress who's left the industry, they say things like most of the times when they were participating in a lot of those adult videos, they were hooked on drugs and many other things to get them through those sessions. It's the same thing. And if you think that that's terrible, what more an industry that profits from it and and is incentivized to actually profit from it? Is it okay then? Well, it's their choice to enter. And okay, so is it Cassie's choice to enter? Are you following me? I think there's a conversation there that needs to be had that a lot of people actually miss. Listen, of course, guys, to my currently engaged, soon to be married men, or maybe you're proposing soon, if you need a prenup but don't know where to start, head over to fathershaverights.com and access our guide that shows you exactly how you can get a prenuptial agreement the right way before you hire your attorney. Appreciate you all. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.